game between the Mavericks and the Golden State Warriors last night. Let's break it down. Welcome into Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. I'm Jeffrey Cooperstein. An offensive explosion from both teams last night, but especially the Dallas Mavericks, who scored 46 points in the first, 81 in the first half, en route to a win against Golden State. That 46 is just 1 point shy of the franchise record for points in the quarter, which they set last year against Oklahoma City with 47. Look, this team kind of needed this little offensive outbreak after really struggling against Oklahoma City the other night, and it was great to see a bunch of guys, especially Luka Doncic and Klay Thompson, really have their quote-unquote coming out parties of this season. Now, Luka's had plenty of good games before last night, but this one was by far the best one of his career. We'll get into that in just a moment, but first we do need to talk about the NBA record that was set last night with the Mavs and the Warriors. The Mavs and Dubs combined for 48 three-pointers made in the game, which was an NBA record. Golden State making 27 of those, just two shy of the NBA record of 29. And they single-handedly kept them in the game. It looked like the Mavs were going to blow out the Warriors there in the first half. But you had Draymond Green making 5 threes. You had Steph, who was just doing Steph things. You had Andrew Wiggins, who was making them as well. It was a three-point barrage from both teams, but especially Golden State in that first half, which kept the game interesting. And it was a really fun scene. I mean, I think watching Steph Curry and watching that Warriors crowd pop off at the Chase Center is one of the best scenes in the NBA. And watching that against the Mavs, who really couldn't miss either, and Luka was in his bag in the first half to the tune of a 28-9-8 first half. I mean, it was a really fun game to watch. That was one of the most fun games of the season and one of the more satisfying wins of the season as well. All right, let's get to Luka here, who had 45, 11, and 13, 16 of 23 from the field, 6 of 11 from 3, and 3 steals. And like I said, he had 28 of those 45 in the first half. He's really coming into his own. He has a couple of triple-doubles here after not having one this season. He got one over in Toronto, and now I believe he has 3. It's either 3 straight or 3 in his last 4 games. But either way, he's starting to fill up the stat sheet more. He's starting to be more efficient. That's really what I'm concerned with, is the efficiency. 16 of 23 from the field and 6 of 11 from 3. You're going to take that from Luka any day of the week. You take that and you run. He's really playing well. It looks like he's getting more and more healthy as the season goes on, and he's really starting to find his groove. OKC did a hell of a job against him in that loss in the NBA Cup, and I think he bounced back really well from that. And he's not only doing it on the offensive end. I want to throw a little stat at you. Did you know Luka Doncic is second in the NBA in steals per game at 2.1, behind Dyson Daniels 3.0. Dyson Daniels might be the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year right now. He is playing fantastic for the Atlanta Hawks. But behind that, it's Luka at 2.1. He is playing out of his mind on the defensive end this season. And yes, he does have a couple of lapses in judgment. We've seen that multiple times. And that's okay. It's going to happen with him, especially given how much offensive output he has. You'd like him to be more focused on the defensive end, of course. But when he's locked in, and he said this, when he's locked in, it helps the entire team. Jason Kidd said he's going to put that quote on a t-shirt and have the team wear it, because he knows that he needs Luka locked in on that defensive end in order for this team to do what we think they can do, which is go win an NBA title. I was told Luka doesn't play defense, though. Where is all that narrative coming from? I was told he doesn't play defense whatsoever. Luka plays defense, and he plays it at a pretty damn high level. I'm not calling him an all-NBA defender. I'm not saying he's one of the top 15 defenders in the NBA. I am saying he is a good defender when he is engaged, and he was engaged against Golden State. Despite Golden State scoring a bunch of points, I thought he did a pretty good job. He plays the passing lanes really well. And when he plays the passing lanes, the Mavs get steals and they go out in transition. There's no better team in the NBA than the Dallas Mavericks. Show Luka some love down below. Type 77 to show our boy some love. He's really putting it together right now, and the Mavs are on a really good streak here. It's unfortunate that the Mavs have another 3 days off before they take on the LA Clippers. But look, this team is starting to get into a rhythm. They don't let losses really get to them, which is something that I admire about them. They bounce back really well after losses, and they just move on to the next game, and that's exactly what they did against the Golden State Warriors. We'll talk more here in just a moment about Klay Thompson and some injury updates we have to get to, but first, I do need to tell you guys about our sponsor, which is PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action all season long. And one thing I love about PrizePicks is they now offer MasterCard for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals into your account this sports season. Another great thing about PrizePicks is during Picksmith, they're offering 2 free picks, which you can pair with up to 2 to 6 projections. You can win real money in real time. PrizePicks has over 10 million users, and they are our favorite sponsor here at Dallas Mavericks Today. Here's my projection for Monday Night Football that I cooked up for you. I'm going to take the more on Brock Bowers receiving yards. I'm also going to take the more on Bijan Robinson rush yards. And then I'll indeed take the less on Kirk Cousins, 242.5 passing yards. If you were playing with us last week, you saw the projection that they had with Patrick Mahomes. They had it at half a passing yard. So if you thought Mahomes was going to get 1 passing yard, you would win that free square, and you could pair it with something else and win some real money. So that's how you play PrizePicks. Again, download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get a $50 bonus when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even need to win to receive that bonus. It is guaranteed. So again, download the app today and use code CLNS to get a $50 bonus when you play your first $5 lineup. That link is going to be clickable in the comments and the description of today's show. Shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring this episode of Mavericks Today. It is PrizePicks. Run your game. Klay got some home cooking last night. 2 of the best games that Klay has played this season have both been at the Chase Center in San Francisco against the Warriors. 29 points, 7 of 11 from three-point land. He missed a free throw at the end, which would have gave him the 30-piece. And in his interview post-game with Leslie McCaslin, you could tell he was distraught. He said 30 looked a lot better than 29. But the biggest thing that matters is the win. And it feels like Klay has kind of gotten hot over the last 4 or 5 games for this team. He's starting to find his rhythm in the offense. He's starting to find the spots to be on the floor that Luka and Kyrie and the playmakers want him to be at. And he's doing a really good job of just letting it fly. Again, there were a couple of plays last night where I thought he should have been more selfish and shot the ball, which he's still working through. But he's starting to look like Klay Thompson. I know he was dealing with that plantar fasciitis, which certainly didn't help. But he's doing what the Mavericks are asking him to do. He's taking open shots. He's making open shots. He's playing good defense. And him figuring it out is paramount to this team's success in the long run. If they want to be playing in late May and June again like they were last season, Klay Thompson's going to have to be your 3rd or 4th best player. I know P.J. Washington's been fantastic for this team. You have the great role players in Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively. You need Klay Thompson to be Klay Thompson for this team to win the Western Conference, which we absolutely believe they can, and it seems like they're well on their way to solidifying themselves as that top contender in the West. They sit 3rd right now. All of the standings are kind of jumbled up there at the top, but this team, they're really good, and they need Klay Thompson to be good in order to become great. Couple of injury notes before we get on out of here. Maxi Kleber just can't catch a break, man. In order to having that illness that has plagued the Mavs for about a month now, he has a fractured rib and is going to miss more time. There's no official timetable for the return of Maxi. I just feel bad for him at this point. You just can't rely on him to be healthy at any point. I think Omax is officially going to take his spot in the rotation even when Maxi is healthy. And I like what I'm seeing from Omax. He's obviously still a little bit raw, still trying to figure out his way, especially on the offensive end, what his role is and what kind of shots he wants to take and his distribution and whatnot. But the Mavs are eventually going to have to figure out if Omax can play for them or not. And they're going to use this period of Kleba being absent to figure that out. And then Najee Marshall, he's still sick, man. He missed the last 5 games with illness. The Mavs need him back, and he tweeted over the weekend that he just can't shake whatever he's got. I think it's like some respiratory thing. I don't know that for sure, but hopefully he's back for this 2-game stretch against the Los Angeles Clippers, who come into town on Thursday and Saturday for a little baseball kind of style doubleheader here, which the NBA has kind of implemented over the last couple of years or so. Hopefully Najee can get back, and then when he's healthy, you have him alongside P.J. Washington, alongside Omax Prosper, and you have a pretty good wing rotation there. So we need Kleba back, we need Marshall back, we need Klay to get hot, and Luka, keep it going, brother. Keep it going. That's going to be it for Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. My name is Jeffrey Cooperstein. I appreciate all of your guys' support. If you haven't already, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. We're going to be here all throughout the 2024 2024 season, and playoffs. Hopefully a long and prosperous playoff run. So stay subscribed, and we'll see you soon here on Mavericks Today.